A circulating message claims that the U.S. Supreme Court recently issued an 8-1 decision affecting older Americans in a major way, but the details presented have not been independently verified and should be treated cautiously. According to this claim, the ruling is described as supporting and strengthening what is called an Elder Care Protection Act, with supporters saying it would reinforce senior-related protections and make it harder for future policy changes to reduce benefits. The message suggests that the decision has broad implications for prescription drug pricing, Social Security adjustments, and nursing home regulations, and emphasizes that many of these changes would still require individuals to take action, such as enrolling in programs, updating records, or meeting deadlines. It further asserts that, under this supposed framework, Medicare drug pricing reforms would be protected from legal challenges, potentially lowering medication costs for seniors and reinforcing annual out-of-pocket caps. It also claims that Social Security cost of living adjustments could shift toward a senior-specific inflation measure, potentially increasing benefits over time by better reflecting healthcare and living expenses faced by retirees. The message also alleges stricter oversight of nursing homes receiving federal funding, including increased staffing requirements, stronger enforcement of safety standards, and higher penalties for violations, with the stated goal of improving care and accountability. However, as presented, these claims mix policy discussions with specific legal and judicial assertions that are not confirmed by official Supreme Court records or widely documented federal legislation under the name described. Because of that, it is important to verify any such information through reliable sources, such as the official Supreme Court website, the Social Security Administration, or Medicare.gov before assuming it reflects an actual legal change or immediate action requirement. Nursing homes in the United States are already required to make a wide range of information publicly available through federal reporting systems. This includes inspection results, staffing levels, and documented violations for facilities that participate in Medicare or Medicaid. Families can review this information using the official Medicare comparison tool at Medicare.gov, which allows users to compare nursing homes, view health inspection results, staffing data, and quality ratings in one place. This transparency is designed to help people make informed decisions when choosing a facility for themselves or a loved one. Elder financial fraud remains a serious and growing problem affecting older adults, including scams involving impersonation of government agencies, fraudulent investments, romance scams, and exploitation by trusted individuals. Federal law requires financial institutions to follow compliance and reporting standards designed to detect suspicious activity, and banks often have internal safeguards and monitoring systems to help identify potential fraud. In addition, federal and state agencies regularly run public awareness campaigns to help seniors recognize and avoid scams. Anyone concerned about fraud can contact their bank directly using official contact information or report suspected scams to appropriate consumer protection authorities. For housing and aging in place, there are legitimate programs that may help older adults modify their homes for safety and accessibility. These can include assistance for ramps, grab bars, bathroom modifications, and other improvements that support independent living, depending on eligibility and location. Local area agencies on aging can provide information about available programs and services in specific communities. Mental health services for Medicare beneficiaries are also covered under existing Medicare rules, including access to outpatient therapy, psychiatric care, and in many cases, telehealth services. Availability may vary depending on provider participation and local access, but telehealth options have expanded significantly in recent years, improving access for individuals in rural or underserved areas. Family caregivers in the United States often provide unpaid support, and there are some state and federal programs that may offer limited financial relief, tax credits in certain jurisdictions, training resources, or respite care services. These supports vary widely depending on location and eligibility requirements. Original Medicare has historically had limited coverage for routine dental, vision, and hearing services, though some Medicare Advantage plans offer additional benefits. In recent years, there has been ongoing policy discussion and some targeted expansions in related areas. but coverage still varies significantly by plan and provider. Finally, it is important to be cautious of misleading or exaggerated claims about major legal or policy changes. The U.S. Supreme Court has not issued a broad 8-to-1 ruling, creating a unified elder care protection framework as described in the original message. When encountering claims about new benefits or urgent enrollment requirements, it is always best to verify directly through official government sources, such as Medicare.gov or SSA.gov, before taking action. Medicare has seen some of its biggest real structural changes in years, due mainly to the Inflation Reduction Act and CMS rule updates. The most important is that Medicare Part D now includes a $2,000 annual cap on out-of-pocket prescription drug costs starting in 2025, which significantly limits how much beneficiaries can spend on medications each year. This is paired with a new system that removes the old coverage gap and reshapes how drug costs are shared between patients, insurers, and manufacturers. At the same time, Medicare has been given the authority to directly negotiate prices for selected high-cost prescription drugs, with the first rounds of negotiated prices rolling out in the mid-2020s, including 2026 to 2027 implementation phases depending on the drug cycle. CMS has also tightened oversight of Medicare Advantage plans, updating rules on marketing practices, supplemental benefits, behavioral health access, and plan transparency to reduce misleading enrollment practices and improve access to care. Medicare costs for beneficiaries have also continued to change in predictable annual adjustments. For example, the standard Part B monthly premium for 2025 is $185, with annual deductibles also adjusted upward based on program cost formulas. More recently, projections and announcements for 2026 show another increase in Part B premiums, crossing the $200 per month level, which is significant because premiums are deducted directly from Social Security checks and can reduce the net increase seniors see from COLA adjustments. Social Security itself has not undergone structural redesign recently, but it has continued its normal annual cost of living adjustment process. For 2025, beneficiaries received a 2.5% COLA increase based on inflation data from the Consumer Price Index. This is standard and happens every year. It is not the result of new legislation or court rulings. At the policy level, there are ongoing debates, not enacted changes, about potential future reforms such as adjusting the inflation formula for seniors or changing payroll tax caps, but none of these proposals have become law. In elder care policy, the biggest real changes are incremental rather than sweeping. Nursing home oversight continues to be strengthened through CMS rules and enforcement actions focused on staffing, safety, and quality reporting requirements. Facilities that accept Medicare or Medicaid must already publish inspection results, staffing data, and quality ratings through the Federal Care Compare system, which is publicly accessible through Medicare.gov. However, there has been no single new nationwide law or Supreme Court decision that fundamentally rewrote nursing home staffing rules or created a new constitutional framework for elder care protections. Support for aging in place and home and community-based services has gradually expanded through Medicaid waivers and state-level programs, helping more seniors access home modifications, caregiver support, and in-home services. But these expansions vary widely by state rather than coming from one national overhaul. In short, the real situation is this. Medicare has had major drug cost reforms and payment rule updates. Social Security continues its yearly inflation adjustments without structural change, and elder care improvements are happening gradually through CMS regulation and state/federal programs, rather than through any single sweeping court ruling or new nationwide Elder Care Act.